Welcome back to the show, the XBOT Show, and I'm your host, Wizard74 Wizard! And we're back with another topic, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite games ever, Resident Evil. Can I do that one again? Resident Evil. That's how it usually sounds, right? When you hit the start button. Anyways, yeah, so one of my favorite games, Resident Evil. Let me get my storyboard. I'm into the whole zombie genre conflict when it's done right. That is my favorite genre. It can get played out pretty easily, pretty fast. But if you know what you're doing and you got the right story, always have my attention because you gotta know what to do when the shit goes down, when it hits the floor. What's my take on the Resident Evil games? Well, you got Resident Evil 1 that started it all, right? Fantastic. I love Resident Evil 1. Who doesn't? It's one of the first ones I used to watch my brother play. Supposed to be in bed, getting some sleep because I got school in the morning the next day. But no, I'm up all night watching him play Resident Evil. And it was like the first games I can just sit down and watch somebody else play and be highly entertained like I'm watching a movie. Resident Evil 1 started the whole survival horror genre. My favorite genres in video games. Maintaining and managing your item box, your ammo, your health, your crafts. That's crucial and essential to all Resident Evil games. That and the puzzles. So without those, you don't have a great Resident Evil game. So like I told you, Resident Evil 1 started all the whole survival genre. Come out, Resident Evil 2 comes out, does what Resident Evil 1 does, but even better, right? It's a bigger, more fuller story than Resident Evil 2. And then you get to like Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 3 is probably hands down one of my favorite games of all time. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis gave birth to one of the most scariest villains, Nemesis. That's Nemesis himself. And playing that game originally, I know this is the XBOT Show, but that game originally came out on PS1. Playing that game originally when it came out legitly scared the shit. Motherfucking Nemesis bust through walls, man. He busted through walls. He busted through the safe room. I swear I was in a safe room and Nemesis just walked up in there like, what up? That type of innovation for them in that time period when that game came out, it was brand new. That was something special. There was no Dying Light. There was no Last of Us. There was no Outlast. There was no Evil Within. We had Silent Hill, and that was the only competitor. But yo, Resident Evil 3 was scary, the original, and that's why I'm like, when great zombie stuff take a spin to be this action orientated, that's when they fall flat on their ass. Pretty much. It happened with Train to Busan Peninsula. They might as well call that Resident Evil 6 the movie. Train to Busan is a great zombie flick. I'm looking forward to that Netflix one they're about to drop, the Resident Evil Netflix. I don't know if it's a series or it's a film, one of those, but I'm looking forward to that. Oh man, shout out to my man Leon S. Kennedy. Focus right there. You see that? Yeah, check that out. Shout outs to the big homie Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine. I see you, ma. I feel like Resident Evil games are at their best when it's totally single player focused. Puzzles are all over the damn place, and some are like easy and some are moderate and some are like, I don't want to look at a wiki or IGN forums. None of that. I want no help. I just want to figure it out. Fuck. So when all three of those like levels of puzzles and just scarce of ammo and health, yes. And then we get to Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6. So this is where a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me because I am not a fan of Resident Evil 4. What did he say? Yeah, I said it. No, I'm sorry. I am not a fan of Resident Evil 4. And why? Why am I not a fan of the Resident Evil 4 and the rest of the world seem to be? I'll tell you why right now. It's not a Resident Evil game. A good Resident Evil game. What makes a Resident Evil game? Now let me not OD. I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad game, just not my cup of tea at all after coming off the cuffs of Resident Evil 3. Jumping in from Resident Evil 3 to Resident Evil 4 for me was jarring as I was like, what the hell is this? I'm fighting villagers. I'm fighting these village. I'm fighting these normal ass people that got stuck up there. I don't care. You're looking for the little girl, home alone, the president's daughter. What her ass? It was just so much of Resident Evil 4 that I just couldn't get with. And Resident Evil 4 was the brink of all things Resident Evil games that I hate. I was hoping that Resident Evil 5 would actually kind of like, all right, let's go back to our roots. You know, we did Resident Evil 4. It was pretty whatever. Oh no, they double dip. And then it was so arcade. It is so arcadey. Very arcadey. Resident Evil 4 as well. I'm sorry, Resident Evil 5 double dip, and then it gave birth to Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 6 is the worst Resident Evil game, probably the worst game ever made. I take that back. So yeah, they remake Code Veronica and Resident Evil 0, but give it that same love and treatment like they did, over the shoulder, all that good stuff, flourish it out, add some new stuff. Man, money. Those remakes are fantastic. Resident Evil 2 remake is the best remake so far. They threw everything in the kitchen sink at it. And now people say, oh, the second half wasn't as strong as the first half. I don't care. In total, that game is crazy. Especially if you played Resident Evil 2, the original. Oh man, that remake is just Mr. X. Yeah, so if you haven't played any of the remakes, I suggest you play the Resident Evil 1, the original, the remake. Pop that right on in, and then jump into Resident Evil 2 remake. You're gonna have a great and phenomenal time with that. And then Resident Evil 3 remake, which feels very much like DLC, and which is crazy. Y'all did Nemesis dirty in the Resident Evil 3 remake. Y'all need to fix that. Release the clock tower cut and add the park and all that good stuff. Stop playing. Still a good game. Ooh, still a good game. Just not on the level of the original Resident Evil 3. But I was like, yeah, I got the Xbox Series X. Let me try out this Resident Evil 7. It's on Game Pass. Because it was on Game Pass, I was like, yeah, why not? So I downloaded it. It actually took me mad long to even play it after I downloaded it on Game Pass. I was just sitting, you know what Game Pass should do? Like, they should have some, like, your games that you take forever to play. They should, like, start collecting, like, digital dust. Texas Chainsaw vibe. I liked it. Could have used a few more puzzles. Could have been, the puzzles they had could have been a bit more challenging, but I liked it. Now we're jumping into Resident Evil 8 territory. Village. Resident Evil Village. How beautiful does Resident Evil Village looks? Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. Like, I Xbox headset right there. Got the Dolby Digital unlocked. And I'm playing with that on my projector. Optima HD 27 HDR. Full wall display. And I am just so in that village, so much so that I turned the AC on all the way on high cool, so it can feel like I'm getting a cool, cold breeze when I'm walking around in the snow. Just makes it a bit more immersive for me. And throw some little, incense on, like, natural herbs to, come on, man. Yeah, so that's basically my take on all things Resident Evil, just the games, pretty much. If you agree with me, please let me know in the comments. If you disagree with me, please let me know in the comments. Leave a like or subscribe to this channel if you're digging this content. I can't wait to give you more. I'm not gonna say nothing. He's just gonna hold that pose. Alright. Thank you for being back with me this week on episode 3, talking about Resident Evil games. I can't wait to talk to y'all again next week on the XBOT Show, episode 4. Coming at you. Holla at me. See you soon.